Picture yourself standing on the edge of a vast, untamed landscape, a fortress half built behind you. The stones are rough, the mortar still wet, and the walls are far from complete. This is your life, your dreams, your struggles, your quiet victories. Yet, instead of guarding this sacred ground, you fling open the gates, inviting every passerby to inspect the cracks in your foundation. Why do you do this? Why do you feel the urge to broadcast every stumble, every plan, every raw emotion to a world that may not understand or care? In this moment, you must see the truth. Oversharing is a trap, a silent thief that steals your personal power and welcomes chaos into your sanctuary. Welcome to the journey of reclaiming your strength, of learning to stop telling everyone what happens in your life. This is not about isolation, but about protection. It's about building your fortress in solitude and brick by brick, away from prying eyes and unsolicited voices. You are the architect of your destiny, and the first step is to guard your blueprint with fierce resolve. Feel the weight of this truth settle into your bones. You don't need validation from the crowd. You don't need approval to rise. Let's uncover why this impulse to overshare undermines your power and how you can break free from its grip. Imagine yourself as a young professional, burning with ambition to climb the corporate ladder. You've just faced a brutal setback. A project you poured months into was rejected by your superiors. The sting of failure bites deep, and in a moment of vulnerability, you turn to social media. You type out a raw, unfiltered post. Another rejection. I don't know if I can keep doing this. Thoughts? Within minutes, the notifications flood in. Friends offer sympathy. Hang in there. You've got this. Colleagues chime in with advice. Maybe pivot to a different role. Strangers, emboldened by anonymity, critique harshly. Sounds like you're not cut out for this. At first, the attention feels like a bomb. You're not alone. People care. But as the comments pile up, so does the noise. One person suggests networking with a rival company. Another insists you confront your boss. A third tells you to quit entirely and find your true passion. Each piece of advice pulls you in a different direction, like a ship caught in a storm with no compass. You start doubting your own instincts. Was the rejection really a sign to give up? Should you switch paths entirely? The more you read, the more your clarity slips away. What began as a cry for connection has turned into a maze of confusion, and you're left more lost than before. Here's the lesson. By sharing your raw struggle with the world, you surrendered your power to navigate it. Your fortress, still under construction, was exposed to every opinion, every judgment. Had you kept this moment private, you could have sat with the pain, reflected on the feedback from your superiors, and charted your own course. Solitude would have been your strength, not a stage for others to rewrite your story. Personal power grows in the quiet, brick by brick, where no one can shake the foundation you're building. Now picture yourself at a casual gathering, surrounded by acquaintances and distant relatives. You've been nurturing a deeply personal goal, a dream to start your own small business, something that lights a fire in your chest. For months, you've researched, saved, and planned in secret. Tonight, buoyed by a glass of courage and the warmth of the room, you decide to share your vision. I'm thinking of launching a bakery, you announce, your voice trembling with excitement. It's been my dream for years. The room shifts. Some nod politely, but others raise eyebrows. An uncle laughs. A bakery? In this economy? Good luck with that. A friend chimes in. Do you even know how to run a business? It's not just baking cupcakes. You know. Another adds. I knew someone who tried that. Lost everything in 6 months. Each word lands like a stone, piling up until your dream feels buried beneath their doubts. You smile through it, but inside, your resolve cracks. That night, as you lie awake, their voices echo louder than your own. Maybe they're right. Maybe you're not ready. Maybe this dream is foolish. The pain of this moment reveals a hard truth. When you expose your unformed plans to the world, You invite interference that can shatter your confidence. Your fortress, your vision, was still taking shape, fragile and vulnerable. By opening the gates too soon, you allowed others to chip away at the walls before they could harden. Had you held this dream close, nurtured it in silence, you could have built unshakable belief in yourself first. Strength is forged in solitude, away from the noise of doubt. Protect your dreams until they're strong enough to stand on their own. Let's pause and look deeper. Why do you feel this urge to overshare? Is it a hunger for connection, a need to be seen, or a fear of carrying your burdens alone? Understand this. Every time you spill the raw contents of your heart to the world, you weaken the walls of your inner fortress. Personal power is not built in the open marketplace of opinions. It's crafted in the quiet, where no one can touch the bricks you lay. Think of your life as a citadel under construction. Each struggle, each dream, each lesson is a stone you place with intention. When you invite others to inspect the unfinished work, you risk them trampling over what's sacred. Their words, well-meaning or not, become hammers that crack your resolve. Consider this. How many times have you shared a vulnerable moment, only to feel smaller for it? How many dreams have you voiced, only to watch them wither under the weight of someone else's skepticism? The world is not your confessor. It's not your architect. You are built in solitude, where the only voice that matters is your own. Let your fortress rise, unseen, until its walls are tall enough to withstand any storm. Oversharing is a trap because it scatters your energy, diluting the focus you need to grow. Guard your inner world as fiercely as a sentinel at the gate. Your strength depends on it. Dive deeper with me. When you overshare, you don't just reveal your story. You hand others the pen to rewrite it. Every detail you expose becomes a thread they can pull, unraveling the tapestry of your resolve. Imagine a river carving its path through stone over centuries. Its power lies in its focus, its relentless drive in one direction. But if that river splits into 1,000 tiny streams, its strength is lost. So it is with you. When you scatter your thoughts, fears, and plans across countless ears, you dilute your own momentum. You invite interference, unwanted advice, misplaced pity, or outright criticism that clouds your vision. Ask yourself, how often have you sought validation from others, only to find confusion instead? How many times have their voices drowned out the quiet wisdom within you? Oversharing turns your personal journey into a public debate, where everyone claims a stake in your decisions. But your life is not a committee. It's a solo expedition, a climb up a jagged peak where only you can choose the footholds. Build your fortress away from the chatter. Let the noise of the world fade as you stack each brick with purpose. Solitude is not loneliness. It's the forge where your power is tempered. Protect your path, and let your actions, not your words, speak when the time is right. Here's a tool to wield when the urge to overshare strikes. Pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, why do I feel the need to tell this story right now? Is it for support, for validation, or simply to fill a silence? Write down your answer in a private journal. This act alone can diffuse the impulse, giving you space to process without exposing your raw edges to the world. If the need persists, ask a second question. Will sharing this help me build my fortress, or will it invite interference? Be brutally honest. If the answer leans toward interference, stop. Keep it within your walls. Next, redirect that energy. Instead of posting online or venting to a crowd, channel your thoughts into action. If you're reeling from a setback, outline 3 steps to move forward. If you're bursting with a dream, sketch a plan to make it real. Guard your inner world by focusing on what you can control. Over time, this practice builds a habit of discretion, a shield around your fortress. You'll find that solitude becomes your strength, a quiet space where clarity grows. Remember, not every thought needs an audience. Some are meant for you alone. Seeds to nurture in the dark until they're ready to bloom. While solitude is your foundation, you don't have to build entirely alone. Create a small, intentional circle of trust 2 or 3 people who have earned the right to see behind your walls. These are not casual acquaintances or social media followers. They are individuals who respect your journey, who listen without judgment, and who offer wisdom only when asked. When the weight of a struggle or the excitement of a dream feels too heavy to carry solo, turn to this circle, but even then, share with purpose. Ask yourself, what do I need from this conversation? Perspective, encouragement, or simply to be heard? Set boundaries even within the circle. Be clear about what you're seeking. Say, I just need to vent. I'm not looking for advice right now. Or, I'd value your thoughts on this specific challenge. This keeps the exchange focused and prevents unsolicited interference. By curating who gets access to your inner world, you protect your fortress while still allowing for connection. Strength is not about shutting everyone out. It's about choosing who enters with care. Build your walls high, but leave a small, guarded gate for those who truly belong. As we close this chapter of your journey, let the lessons of the trap of oversharing sink deep. You've seen how the impulse to tell everyone about your life can erode your personal power, turning your struggles and dreams into fodder for interference. Through the stories of the young professional lost in a storm of online opinions and the dreamer wounded by doubt at a gathering, you felt the cost of exposing your fortress before its walls are strong. Through reflection, you've uncovered why this trap exists, a hunger for connection that can scatter your focus and invite unwanted voices. And through practical steps, you've armed yourself with tools to guard your inner world, to build in solitude and to choose connection with intention. The key lesson is clear. Your strength is forged in the quiet, away from the noise of the world. Personal power grows when you stop seeking validation from every corner and start trusting the architect within you. As you move forward, carry this truth as your cornerstone. In the next stretch of this journey, we'll explore how to cultivate that inner trust, how to listen to your own voice above all others. Until then, stand firm at the edge of your half-built citadel. Protect what's yours. Lay each brick with purpose. Guard your fortress. Build in silence. Your power rises unseen. Picture yourself standing on a rocky cliff at midnight, the ocean roaring below, a thick fog rolling in to swallow the world. Amidst this haze, a lighthouse stands, unwavering, its beam cutting through the chaos, guiding you even when you can't see the shore. That lighthouse is your inner voice, your intuition, the quiet strength that knows your path. Yet, how often do you ignore its light, turning instead to the clamor of passing ships, opinions, judgments, unsolicited advice? You're caught in the noise, desperate for validation, fearing criticism, and in doing so, you lose sight of your own direction. This is the weight of external voices, a burden that pulls you from your truth. In the grand journey of keeping your life story sacred, this is where you learn a vital truth. Stop telling everyone what happens in your life. Stop seeking their approval. Stop letting their words drown out your own. You are the keeper of your lighthouse. It's time to trust its light. Imagine yourself as an artist, standing before a canvas that holds the raw essence of your soul. You've poured hours into each stroke, blending colors that speak of your deepest dreams, visions of towering mountains under a crimson sky, a story only you can tell. But the work isn't finished, and doubt creeps in like a shadow. What if it's not good enough? What if no one understands? So, you turn to others. You show your unfinished masterpiece to friends, family, even strangers online. What do you think, you ask, hungry for praise, desperate to avoid scorn. Their voices pour in like a tidal wave. Add more blue, one says. It's too dark, another critiques. Why not paint a beach instead? Each suggestion feels like a brushstroke over your own, smudging the vision that once burned so clearly in your mind. You adjust, tweak, and reshape, hoping to please them all. Days turn to weeks, and when you step back, the canvas is a mess, a patchwork of everyone else's ideas. Devoid of your unique fire, you've lost your art. You've lost yourself. The pain stings, doesn't it? You sought validation to ease your insecurity, But instead, you surrendered your power. The external voices didn't just distract you, they erased the very thing that made your work yours. Here's the lesson, carved in stone. Your inner lighthouse doesn't flicker with the opinions of passing ships. It stands firm, its beam steady, even when the fog of doubt is thickest. Had you trusted that light, had you guarded your process and kept your canvas sacred, you would have painted a masterpiece true to your soul. The takeaway is clear. Your vision doesn't need a committee. Protect it. Nurture it in silence. Let the world see the finished work, not the messy, beautiful struggle of its creation. Now picture yourself as a student, juggling the chaos of exams, deadlines, and personal storms. You're wrestling with a quiet struggle, a family issue, perhaps, or a gnawing fear of failure that keeps you awake at night. The weight is heavy, and you feel the urge to unburden yourself. So, you confide in your peers, over coffee or late-night chats. You spill your heart, hoping for empathy, maybe a shared experience to lighten the load. But instead of solace, you're met with a flood of solutions, well-meaning, perhaps, but ill-fitting. Just cut ties with your family, one says, oblivious to your values. You're overthinking, just relax. Another shrugs, dismissing your pain. A third offers a step-by-step plan that worked for them, but feels like a straitjacket to you. Their words pile up like stones on your chest, each one a reminder that they don't truly see you. Now, instead of clarity, you're tangled in their expectations, second-guessing your own instincts. You shared to feel heard, but you're more lost than before. This is the trap of oversharing, the subtle theft of your own compass. You opened the door to your inner world, and the external voices stormed in, drowning out the quiet guidance of your lighthouse. What if you had paused before speaking? What if you had sat with your struggle, trusting that the answers lie within? The fog of others' opinions would have lifted, revealing the steady beam of your intuition. The lesson shines bright. Not every burden needs an audience. Some battles are yours to fight in the quiet, where your truest strength is forged. Keep your struggles close until you've found your own way through. That's where your power lives. Let's sit with this for a moment. Why do you seek the nod of others so fiercely? Why does their approval feel like oxygen? Their criticism like a storm that could shatter you? It's a human ache, this need to be seen, to be affirmed. But here's the raw truth. The more you chase external validation, the further you drift from your own harbor. You become a ship lost in the fog, turning to every passing vessel for direction, ignoring the lighthouse that has guided you all along. That lighthouse, your intuition, your inner knowing, doesn't waver. It doesn't care about the chatter of the crowd or the fleeting praise of strangers. It burns with a quiet, eternal strength, pointing you toward your true north. Think about the dreams you've diluted, the decisions you've swayed, just to fit into someone else's mold. How many times have you silenced your gut to avoid a raised eyebrow or a skeptical smirk? The weight of external voices isn't just a distraction, it's a thief. It steals your clarity, your courage, your very essence. But you have the power to reclaim it. You can stand firm, like that lighthouse on the cliff, letting the noise of the world pass by without shaking your foundation. Ask yourself this: whose voice matters more? Those who glimpse your journey for a moment, or the one within that has walked every step with you? The answer is already burning inside. Trust it. There's another layer to this weight, a shadow that looms larger than it should, the fear of judgment. You hesitate to act, to speak, to even dream, because you imagine eyes watching, tongues ready to tear you down. But let me ask you something. How much of that judgment is real, and how much is a phantom you've conjured in your mind? You build cages out of what-ifs. What if they laugh? What if they reject? What if they misunderstand? Yet in truth, most people are too caught in their own fog to linger on yours. Their opinions are fleeting, like waves crashing against the shore, while your lighthouse stands unmoved, its light piercing through the illusion. This fear of judgment is a chain you forge yourself. Link by link, each time you overshare or seek approval, it binds you to a version of yourself that isn't real, a version shaped by imagined criticism rather than your own truth. Break that chain. Step back into the quiet of your own counsel. Picture yourself as that lighthouse, rooted deep into the earth, unshaken by the storms of others' thoughts. Their words cannot dim your light unless you let them. So, why give them that power? Why let a passing ship dictate the course of your ocean? You are the captain. You are the guide. Turn inward and let the fog of judgment dissolve in the warmth of your own certainty. When the urge to spill your plans, your struggles, or your dreams bubbles up, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, do I need their input, or am I seeking their approval? Be honest. If it's the latter, stop. Turn away from the noise and step into the stillness of your own mind. Grab a journal if you must. Write down what you're feeling, what you're wrestling with. Let the page be your confidant, not the crowd. This simple act of guarding your inner world builds a fortress around your lighthouse. It keeps the fog of external voices at bay, giving you space to hear your own truth. Then, set a boundary. Decide what you'll share and with whom. Not every thought needs an audience. Not every plan needs a critic. Choose silence as your shield. If you must speak, pick one trusted soul, someone who listens more than they advise, who honors your journey without trying to steer it. And even then, share only what feels necessary. Remember, your inner light doesn't grow brighter by exposing it to every passing ship. It shines fiercest when you protect it, when you nurture it in the quiet. Start today. Guard one thought, one dream, one struggle. Keep it yours and feel the power of that choice. When the weight of external voices feels heavy, when you've lost your way in the fog of opinions, take a moment to reconnect with your lighthouse. Find a quiet space, early morning, late at night, or even a stolen 5 minutes in your day. Close your eyes. Breathe deep. Picture that towering structure on the cliff, its beam cutting through the haze. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What does my gut say? Beyond the noise of others? Listen. Don't rush the answer. Let it rise like a tide, steady and sure. Then, act on that whisper, no matter how small the step. If it's a decision you've been swayed on, reclaim it. Choose based on your own light, not theirs. If it's a dream you've buried under criticism, unearth it. Take one action that aligns with your inner guidance, whether it's writing a sentence, making a call, or simply deciding to trust yourself. This isn't about ignoring all advice. It's about filtering it through your own lens first. Your lighthouse doesn't need permission to shine. It just needs you to stand by it. Commit to this practice daily. Reconnect. Listen. Act. Watch how the fog lifts, how your path becomes clear. You've walked through the fog of external voices, felt the weight of validation and judgment pressing down, and seen how they pull you from your true course. You've witnessed the artist lose their vision to a chorus of opinions, the student drown under unsolicited fixes, but you've also uncovered a timeless truth. Your inner lighthouse stands firm, its light unwavering, no matter how loud the passing ships cry out. The key lesson burns bright. Stop telling everyone what happens in your life, because their voices, however well-intentioned, can dim the clarity of your own. Protect your path. Trust your intuition. Let the world see the results, not the raw, sacred process of your becoming. As we move forward, carry this image with you, that lighthouse on the cliff, a sentinel of your strength, guiding you through any storm. In the next stretch of this journey, we'll forge deeper into building that trust, into crafting a life that answers only to your inner beam. For now, stand tall. Let the noise fade. Hold fast to your light. Shine in silence. Your lighthouse will guide you home. Picture a seed, small and unassuming, buried deep beneath the cold, unyielding earth. No one sees it struggle. No one hears its silent push against the weight of the soil. Yet, in that unseen darkness, it gathers strength, roots digging deeper, until one day it pierces the surface, reaching for the sun. That's you. Right now, you're that seed, wrestling with your own battles, nurturing your own dreams, far from the prying eyes of the world. And that's exactly where you need to be. In this journey of life, there's a sacred power in silence, a transformative force in keeping your struggles and triumphs close to your chest. Welcome to the realm of silent growth, a place where authentic progress is born not in the spotlight, but in the quiet shadows. This section, The Power of Silent Growth, dives into a truth that cuts against the grain of our oversharing world. Stop telling everyone what happens in your life. Every struggle you voice, every triumph you broadcast, risks diluting the raw energy of your journey. When you share too much, you invite opinions that cloud your vision and distractions that stall your momentum. But when you hold your story close, you forge clarity, resilience, and a strength that no one can touch. Let's walk this path together. Let's uncover why the most powerful growth happens unseen, and how embracing silence can lead you to a breakthrough no one saw coming. Imagine yourself as an entrepreneur, burning with a vision that keeps you awake at night. You've got an idea, a product that could change the game, but it's raw, unformed, like a lump of iron waiting to be shaped. You could shout it from the rooftops, post every late-night brainstorm on social media, or seek validation from friends at every turn. But you don't. Instead, you choose silence. You lock yourself in your workshop, metaphorically speaking, and you hammer away at your craft in solitude. The doubts creep in. Will this work? Am I wasting my time? But you don't air them. You wrestle with them alone, letting each struggle sharpen your focus. Months pass. Sleepless nights stack up. Your hands are calloused from the grind, but no one knows. Not your family, not your friends, not the online world craving updates. Then, one day, you step out with your finished product, a creation so polished, so powerful, that it stuns everyone. Where did this come from, they ask. They never saw the sweat, the failures, the near breaking points. They only see the result, and it inspires them. But you know the truth. The real victory wasn't in the reveal, it was in the silent forging. Like that seed beneath the earth. Your growth happened in the dark, unseen, where no one could interfere with your roots taking hold. The lesson here is raw and undeniable. When you keep your process private, you protect your energy. You shield your vision from the noise of doubt, both your own and others. Your silent growth becomes your strength, and when you finally emerge, the world can't help but take notice. This ties directly to the takeaway of this section. True power lies in cultivating your dreams and struggles in silence, emerging only when your roots are unshakable. Now I shift your gaze inward. Picture yourself facing a personal storm, a loss, a betrayal, or a failure that cuts deep. The weight of it presses on your chest, and every instinct screams to share the pain, to post about it, to call someone and pour out your heart. But you pause. You choose a different path. You decide to carry this burden in silence, not out of shame, but out of a fierce resolve to own your healing. Day by day, you rebuild. You journal your thoughts instead of broadcasting them. You seek quiet corners to reflect instead of public platforms to vent. You cry alone, but you also rise alone. Over time, the storm passes. You've stitched yourself back together, stronger at the seams, without anyone knowing the depth of your struggle. When you rejoin the world, people sense a change, a quiet confidence, a steadiness they can't place. You seem different, they say, unable to pinpoint why, and you smile because you know. Your resilience was forged in silence, like that seed pushing through layers of earth with no audience to cheer it on. The victory isn't in their recognition, it's in the inner ground you've gained, the roots you've deepened without anyone's interference. This story echoes the same truth. Silent growth is authentic growth. By not sharing every wound, you gave yourself space to heal on your terms. You didn't let others' pity or advice shape your recovery. You emerged whole, and that's the essence of the takeaway. Your greatest strength is built in the unseen moments, where silence becomes your shield and your forge. Let's dig deeper into this idea of silent growth. Think of yourself as that seed again, buried beneath layers of earth. Above you, the world is loud, voices shouting opinions, distractions clamoring for attention, endless chatter about what you should feel or do. But down here, in the dark, there's only you and the soil. The silence is heavy, yes, but it's also sacred. It's where you stretch your roots, unseen, untouched by the chaos above. It's where you draw strength from the quiet, where no one can pluck you out before you're ready to stand tall. Isn't it true that the most enduring things in life, mountains, rivers, ancient trees, were shaped in silence, over eons, away from prying eyes? Ask yourself this: how often have you scattered your energy by sharing too soon? How many half-formed dreams have you exposed to criticism before they could take root? When you overshare, you invite the wind to scatter your soil, the hands to uproot your progress. But when you embrace silence, you create a sanctuary for growth. Your struggles become the nutrients in your earth, your triumphs, the quiet strength of your stem. Silence isn't emptiness. It's the crucible where your true self is forged. So, guard your process. Let the world wait. Your breakthrough will speak louder than any premature announcement ever could. Now, let's confront a lie we've all bought into at some point. The idea that sharing brings strength. You've felt it, that rush of relief when you tell someone your plans, your pain, your progress. It feels like connection, like support. But here's the harsh truth, that relief is fleeting, and often it's a trap. Every time you seek validation, you hand over a piece of your power. You let someone else's words, whether praise or doubt, shape the lens through which you see your own journey. What if their skepticism plants a seed of fear in you? What if their encouragement becomes the only fuel you rely on? Return to the metaphor of the seed. Does it need applause to push through the dirt? Does it wait for permission to grow? No. It simply does what it was made to do. In the quiet, in the dark, until it's ready to face the light. You are no different. Your growth doesn't need an audience to be real. Your pain doesn't need witnesses to be valid. When you stop telling everyone what happens in your life, you reclaim ownership of your story. You stop outsourcing your confidence and start building it from within. So ask yourself, why do I feel the need to share? Is it for connection, or is it to escape the discomfort of standing alone with my truth? The answer will guide you to the power of silent growth, where your roots deepen without fanfare, preparing you for a bloom no one can diminish. Let's turn philosophy into action. If you want to harness the power of silent growth, start by guarding your inner soil, your thoughts, your plans, your struggles. The first step is simple but powerful. Before you share anything, pause. Ask yourself, why am I saying this? What do I hope to gain? If the answer is validation, comfort, or distraction, stop. Hold that thought close instead. Write it in a journal. Speak it into a voice note for yourself, or simply sit with it. Let it simmer in your mind without escaping into the world. Next, set boundaries with intention. Decide who, if anyone, truly needs to know what's happening in your life. Maybe it's a trusted mentor or a close confidant, but even then, share only what's necessary. Protect the raw, vulnerable parts of your journey as if they're tender roots, not yet ready for the harsh light of scrutiny. Finally, redirect your energy. Instead of talking about your goals or pains, act on them. Channel what you might have shared into a concrete step forward, whether it's a late-night work session or a quiet moment of self-reflection. Each time you choose silence over speech, you're fertilizing your soil, strengthening your resolve. Try this for a week. Watch how your focus sharpens, how your inner voice grows louder than the outer noise. Here's another tool to cultivate silent growth. Build in the shadows with deliberate discipline. When you're working on a dream or overcoming a hardship, create a private ritual to anchor your progress. This could be a daily log where you track small wins without telling a soul. It could be a quiet space in your home where you retreat to think or create, free from the urge to update anyone. Make this space sacred. Let it be the dark earth where your seed takes root. Then commit to a no-share period. Decide on a time frame, maybe a month, maybe 3, where you won't discuss your project or struggle with anyone outside your innermost circle, if at all. During this time, measure your growth not by external feedback, but by internal markers. Are you clearer in your purpose? Are you stronger in your resolve? Finally, when temptation strikes to overshare, replace it with a question. What can I do right now to move forward? Action silences the urge to speak. It keeps your energy focused inward, where true transformation happens. Practice this, and you'll find that the less you say, the more you achieve. Your silent growth becomes a force no one can disrupt. As we close this exploration of the power of silent growth, let's anchor ourselves in the truth we've unearthed. True power lies in cultivating your dreams and struggles in silence, emerging only when your roots are unshakable. You've seen it in the entrepreneur who forged a masterpiece away from the spotlight, and in the individual who rebuilt themselves without a public lament. You've felt it in the metaphor of the seed, thriving in unseen darkness before bursting into light. Silence isn't weakness, it's your sanctuary. It's the soil where your resilience takes root, the shadow where your clarity is born. By stopping the urge to tell everyone what happens in your life, you reclaim your story, your strength, your progress. Now to carry this lesson forward, as we prepare to step into the next part of this journey, remember that every silent step you take builds a foundation no storm can shake. Guard your growth, nurture it in the quiet. Let the world wait for your bloom. And when doubt whispers, when the urge to overshare pulls at you, stand firm with this unshakable truth in your heart. Grow in silence, rise in power. Picture a hidden forge, tucked deep within a forgotten valley, where the air hums with the heat of molten steel and the relentless strike of a hammer. This is no place for spectators. No crowd gathers to marvel at the sparks or whisper opinions on the craft. Here, in solitude, the blacksmith shapes raw iron into unbreakable blades, transformation born in silence, away from prying eyes. This, my friend, is your life. You are the blacksmith, and your soul is the steel. Why do you feel the urge to broadcast every hammer strike, every bead of sweat, to a world that neither understands nor deserves your raw, unfinished work? In this chapter of your journey, we dive into the art of forging your own path, cultivating privacy, building inner strength, and resisting the seductive pull of external validation. The theme is clear. Stop telling everyone what happens in your life. Your transformation is a private fire, and its power grows in the quiet. Are you ready to step into the forge and craft your destiny unseen? Imagine yourself as a writer, hunched over a worn desk in a dimly lit room, your fingers trembling as they dance across the keys. You've got a story burning inside you, a tale of heartbreak and redemption that could move mountains if only you could get it out. But the world outside buzzes with distraction. Friends text, "How's the book coming?" Social media beckons with its endless scroll of polished lives, tempting you to post a snippet, a draft, a desperate plea for feedback. Just a quick update, you tell yourself, to feel connected. But each time you share, the magic dims, the words lose their weight, the opinions flood in, some kind, some cutting, and suddenly, your story isn't yours anymore. It's theirs to judge, to shape, to misunderstand. So, you decide to stop. You turn off notifications. You shut the door. You build a wall of silence around your craft. Not out of arrogance, but out of necessity. Days turn into weeks, and in this uninterrupted focus, something shifts. The story breathes. Characters speak in voices so vivid, you swear they're real. You're not writing for likes or validation, you're writing for truth. When the manuscript is done, you share it, not the messy drafts, not the late-night doubts, but the finished work. And the response? It stuns you. Readers feel the depth, the authenticity, because you protected the process. You forged your blade in private, and its edge cuts deep. The lesson is raw and real. Transformation is a private fire. Keep your struggles and dreams in the forge until they're ready to shine. Now, see yourself as an athlete, lacing up worn sneakers in the pre-dawn chill. You've set your sights on a record-breaking performance, a marathon time that will silence every doubt you've ever carried. But the temptation gnaws at you. Every grueling mile, every muscle scream, begs to be posted online. Look at my hustle, you think. Let them cheer me on. You've seen others do it. Daily updates, sweaty selfies, hashtags of grit. The likes pour in, and for a fleeting moment, you feel seen. But what does it cost? Each post pulls your focus outward. You start running for the applause, not the goal. Doubts creep in with every comment. Are you sure you can do this? You look tired. The noise drowns out your rhythm. Then, you choose differently. You unplug. No updates. No fanfare. You train in the quiet, through rain-soaked mornings, through aching limbs, through days when giving up feels easier than pushing on. No one knows the miles you've logged or the barriers you've shattered within yourself. When race day comes, you step to the starting line as a mystery, and then you run. You fly. The finish line breaks under your stride, and the crowd erupts. Not because they saw the grind, but because they feel the result. A record shattered, born from silent dedication. You didn't need their cheers to fuel you. You fueled yourself in the hidden forge of your will. The takeaway burns bright. Resilience is crafted away from the crowd's gaze. Your victories are sweeter when they emerge from the shadows. Let's step deeper into the metaphor of the blacksmith's hidden forge. Think of your life as that secluded workshop where the raw iron of your potential waits to be shaped. Every challenge, every dream, every quiet moment of doubt is a piece of that iron, rough and unformed. The crowd outside, friends, strangers, even well-meaning voices, cannot wield your hammer. They cannot stand the heat of your fire. Yet, how often do you fling open the doors, inviting their eyes to critique your unfinished work? How many times have you let their words cool the flames of your focus? The truth is this: transformation is a private fire. You don't forge a blade by committee. You don't temper steel with 1,000 opinions. You do it alone, in the blistering heat of your own resolve, where every strike of the hammer is a choice to keep going. Consider the nature of fire itself. It doesn't announce its heat, it simply burns. It doesn't seek approval for its light, it simply glows. So why do you feel the need to broadcast every spark of your journey? The urge for validation is a thief, stealing the quiet power of your process. When you share too much, you scatter your energy like embers on the wind. But when you guard your forge, when you let the flames build in secrecy, you create something unbreakable. Your inner strength isn't a performance, it's a sacred act of creation. Stop inviting the world to watch you sweat. Let them marvel at the blade when it's done. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how many dreams have you diluted by speaking them too soon? How many aspirations have you handed over to the court of public opinion, only to watch them wither under scrutiny? There's a weight to unspoken dreams, a quiet gravity that anchors them within you. When you tell everyone what happens in your life, you release that weight. You give away the tension that fuels your drive. It's like planting a seed and then digging it up every day to show the world its progress. Each exposure risks stunting its growth. Your dreams need the dark soil of privacy to take root. They need the shelter of your silence to grow strong. Think of your journey as a river carving its way through stone. It doesn't shout its path to the mountains. It simply flows, relentless and unseen, until it shapes the landscape. So too must you carve your path. The world doesn't need to know every bend, every obstacle, every near breaking point. Let your persistence be your current, your privacy, your depth. Resist the pull of external validation, for it's a shallow pool compared to the ocean of your inner resolve. When you stop telling everyone what happens in your life, you reclaim the power to define your story. You forge your path not for applause, but for the sheer, unyielding joy of becoming who you're meant to be. Now, let's get practical. Cultivating privacy isn't about isolation. It's about protection. It's about guarding the sacred space where your transformation unfolds. Start with this simple step: set clear boundaries. Decide what parts of your life are yours alone to hold. Maybe it's your creative process, your fitness goals, or your personal struggles. Whatever it is, draw a line. When someone asks, "How's it going?" practice a polite deflection. "I'm working on something, thanks for asking." You don't owe the world a play-by-play. Your forge doesn't need an audience. Next, limit your digital footprint. Social media is a siren song, luring you to overshare. Before you post, pause. Ask yourself, am I sharing this for me or for validation? If it's the latter, step back. Turn off notifications for a day, a week, or longer. Create space for uninterrupted focus. Finally, journal your journey privately. Write down your doubts, your wins, your rawest thoughts. This isn't for likes or comments, it's for you. It's a way to process without exposure. These steps build walls around your forge, ensuring the fire within burns hot and true. Protect your process, and you'll protect your power. Building inner strength is the second pillar of forging your own path. Start by embracing discomfort in silence. When doubt or failure strikes, don't rush to vent or seek reassurance. Sit with it. Feel the weight. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this ache? Write down one reason to keep going, even if it's as simple as "I'm not done yet." This quiet reflection turns pain into fuel, tempering your resolve like steel in the forge. Another step, set private milestones. Break your goals into small, unspoken victories. If you're training for a race, celebrate each extra mile in your heart, not online. If you're creating something, mark each completed chapter or design with a quiet nod to yourself. These moments are yours alone, building a reservoir of confidence no external voice can touch. Finally, a practice saying no. Decline invitations to overshare, even when the pressure builds. "I'm keeping this close for now" is enough. Each refusal strengthens your core, teaching you to rely on your own validation. Forge your strength in the quiet, and you'll stand unshakable when the world finally sees your work. As we close this chapter of forging your own path, let's crystallize the insights you've gained. You've seen through the writer's silent sanctuary and the athlete's unseen grind that transformation is a private fire, one that burns brightest away from the crowd's gaze. You've reflected on the hidden forge of your soul, understanding that inner strength and unspoken dreams carry a weight no external validation can match. And you've armed yourself with actionable steps, building walls of privacy and strengthening your core to resist the pull of oversharing. The key lesson echoes through every word. Stop telling everyone what happens in your life, for your greatest power lies in the quiet crafting of your destiny. Let this truth be your guide as we move forward. You are the blacksmith of your fate, shaping your steel in a forge no one else can enter. Guard your fire, protect your process. Let the world marvel at the blade when it's ready, not before. As you step into the next part of this journey, carry this mantra with you, a hammer strike to the heart of your resolve. Forge in silence, shine in time. Picture a river, relentless and silent, carving its way through ancient stone. It does not announce its path to the world. It does not seek applause from the cliffs above or approval from the valleys below. It simply moves, unstoppable, shaping the earth in its own time, on its own terms. That river is you, in a world obsessed with noise, where every thought, every triumph, every stumble is broadcast for likes and validation. You stand apart. You've learned the power of privacy, the strength in owning your narrative. This is your journey, and it's not for everyone to know. Welcome to the freedom of silence, the empowerment of holding your story close. In this chapter, we dive deep into rising above the noise, a celebration of mastering the art of discretion within the greater mission of stopping the oversharing that dilutes your power. Feel the weight lift as you step into a life where your victories speak for themselves, where your path cuts through stone, unaffected by the chatter of onlookers. Imagine you're a small business owner, toiling in the quiet hours when the world sleeps. For years, you've poured your soul into a vision, a bakery, a tech startup, a craft that only you truly understand. Every setback, every near collapse, you faced alone. Friends urged you to post updates, to build your brand, by sharing the journey. Let people see your struggle, they said. But something in you resisted. You felt the pull of the river within, urging you to keep your current steady, hidden beneath the surface. You didn't need the world's pity for your failures or premature cheers for your half-wins. You needed results. Then, after months of grinding, securing a loan, perfecting a product, landing that first big contract, you did it. A major success, a milestone that could redefine your future. And yet, you held back. No social media post, no group chat announcement. You let the achievement stand on its own, revealing it only at the grand opening, the launch event, the moment it was undeniable. When the doors opened, when the product sold out, the room buzzed with awe. How did you do this without anyone knowing, they asked. Your silence had built a mystique, a respect that no status update could match. You didn't just win, you owned your narrative. Like a river cutting through stone, your journey spoke through its results, not through the chatter of half-told stories. The lesson was clear. True power lies in revealing only what's complete, not what's in progress. Now picture yourself as someone who once lived for the spotlight of others' attention. Every heartbreak, every small victory, every fleeting thought, you shared it all. Social media was your diary, group chats, your confessional. Look at my new job, you'd post, only to cringe when it fell through. I'm struggling today, you'd confess, inviting unsolicited advice or, worse, judgment. You thought transparency was strength, that vulnerability meant connection. But over time, you felt exposed, drained. Your life was no longer yours, it was a public exhibit, dissected by opinions you never asked for. Then came the shift. You decided to pull back, to guard your story like a sacred flame. No more updates, no more play-by-play of your dreams or doubts. You focused inward, rebuilding yourself in private. Months passed, and when you reappeared, at a reunion, a casual meetup, people noticed the change. You seem different, they said, unable to pin it down. Confidence radiated from you, not because you boasted, but because you didn't need to. Your life had become a mystery, a quiet force that commanded curiosity and respect. You stood like a river that had carved a canyon, deep, powerful, and untouchable by the noise of onlookers. The lesson hit hard. When you stop oversharing, you reclaim your aura. Your silence becomes your strength. Pause for a moment. Think about the weight of words you've spilled into the world. Words about your plans, your pains, your fleeting joys. How many of those words came back to haunt you? How many dreams did you weaken by speaking them too soon, letting others' doubts seep into your resolve? There is a freedom in the unspoken, a liberation in holding your narrative close. When you stop telling everyone what happens in your life, you step into a realm of pure ownership. Your story is no longer a scattered puzzle for others to piece together. It's a masterpiece you unveil only when it's ready. Like a river cutting through stone, your journey doesn't need an audience to be valid. The river doesn't pause to explain its path to the birds overhead or the pebbles it displaces. It flows with purpose, reshaping the world in silence. So must you. Privacy is not about hiding, it's about protecting the sacred. It's about understanding that not every chapter of your life is for public consumption. When you guard your story, you build an inner fortress, a place where your vision grows without interference. Ask yourself, what have I shared that I wish I hadn't? And what could I achieve if I let my actions, not my words, tell my tale? There's a quiet thrill in being unknowable, isn't there? In a world where oversharing is the norm, mystery is a rebellion. When you stop broadcasting your every move, you become a force, a lighthouse on a distant shore, visible yet unreachable until you choose to be. People wonder about you. They speculate. And in that space of not knowing, your power grows. You're no longer predictable, no longer a book they've already read. You're a river, deep and untamed, cutting through stone while the world watches in awe, unable to grasp the full scope of your journey. This empowerment isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. It's recognizing that your life is a garden, not a public park. Not everyone deserves to walk through it. Not every seed you plant needs to be announced before it blooms. Consider this. How much stronger would you feel if your next victory caught everyone by surprise? How much deeper would your resolve grow if your struggles remained yours alone to conquer? Mystery doesn't isolate you, it elevates you. It reminds the world and yourself that your worth doesn't depend on validation. Your path is yours to carve, and the chatter of onlookers is just wind against the stone. So how do you start? How do you shift from a life of oversharing to one of disciplined privacy? Begin with intention. Before you speak, before you post, pause. Ask yourself, does this need to be shared? Will revealing this strengthen my journey, or will it invite noise I don't need? If the answer isn't a clear yes, hold back. Let your thoughts simmer within you, like a river gathering strength beneath the surface. Write them down if you must, but keep that journal locked. Your inner world is your sanctuary. Don't open the gates to just anyone. Next, set boundaries. If friends or family pry, smile and redirect. Say, I'm working on something, and I'll share when it's ready. You don't owe explanations. You're not being cold, you're being focused. Finally, celebrate privately. When you achieve a win, big or small, savor it alone first. Let the joy be yours before it's anyone else's. This builds resilience, teaching you that your fulfillment doesn't hinge on applause. Guard your current and let it carve its path in peace. Here's another step to master privacy. Build in silence. When a new idea sparks, a project, a goal, a transformation, resist the urge to announce it. Don't tell your best friend. Don't hint at it online. Let it be a seed planted in the quiet earth of your mind, growing roots before it breaks the surface. Every time you're tempted to share, redirect that energy into action. Research, plan, execute. Let your progress be your voice. Create a ritual of silence each morning. Commit to one task tied to your vision and tell no one. Track your wins in a private space, a notebook, an app, a mental tally. When doubt creeps in, and it will, remind yourself why you chose this path, to own your narrative, to rise above the noise. If you must confide, choose one trusted soul, someone who respects your privacy as much as you do. Building in silence isn't easy, but it's powerful. It turns your journey into that river, steady and unstoppable, shaping stone while the world remains oblivious, until you're ready to reveal the canyon you've created. As we close this chapter on rising above the noise, let the truth settle into your bones. Mastering the art of privacy is not just a choice, it's a liberation. You've seen it in the business owner whose disciplined silence earned respect, in the oversharer who transformed into a mystery that commands awe. You've felt it in the philosophical depths of owning your narrative, in the practical steps of guarding your current and building in silence. The key lesson is this: when you stop telling everyone what happens in your life, you reclaim your power, your focus, and your freedom. Your journey becomes a river cutting through stone, unaffected by the chatter of onlookers, shaping a legacy that speaks louder than words ever could. Let this be your foundation as we move forward. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to harness this newfound strength to face the storms of doubt and external pressure. For now, stand firm in your silence. Embrace the mystery. Let your path unfold in its own time. Carve your canyon. Let the world wonder how you did it.